This is what cultural responsiveness is about, folks. Validate, affirm, build, and bridge. What does it mean to validate and affirm? To make legitimate and positive that which mainstream media, social media, institutional knowledge has made negative and illegitimate about the cultures and languages of the students, of our students. What they get at school is, you are disruptive, you are disobedient, you are disrespectful, you are insubordinate, you are low motivated, you're a low reader, you're limited English, you're special needs. This is their narrative. And what you have to do is provide the counter narrative. You have to look these youngsters in the face. You have to say, you are not disrespectful. You are culturally misunderstood. And I'm going to show you by how I teach you. You're not limited anything in your language. You are linguistically misunderstood. And I'm going to show you by how I teach you. That's how we validate and affirm. We're going to debunk what the media says. We're going to debunk what the research says. We're going to show these kids there's another version. That's validation and affirmation. Then we have to build and bridge. We got to give them the academic and social skills that they will need to have success. Right? We got to leverage what they're bringing to school, use it to then bridge them to academic success. So it's called validate and affirm, build and bridge. Say it after me. Validate and affirm, build and bridge. Right? There are 3 ways to VAB. Talk to your students differently. From this point forward, Halifax, no more negative, no more punitive, no more consequential. Talk to students around cultural and linguistic behaviors. No more. We stop today. That means when a student is doing something that's cultural and linguistic, we're not going to be negative with it. We're not going to be punitive with it. We're going to relate to our students differently. We're going to build on the cultural assets that they bring first. You're not going to start off by talking about a student and that they come from a so-called broken home, and that they don't have a daddy, and that they're poor, or that they're a refugee, or that they're coming from. This is not the first thing I want to hear about your kids. I want you to tell me something about their cultures that is an asset. That's where we're going to start. No more giving this negative narrative, right? Start off with where they are in a positive way. Things that you can do to build relationships with them. And then lastly, we're going to teach differently. We're going to teach in a way, we're going to take the recommendation of bell hooks and say, we're going to teach in a way that causes their souls to vibrate, right? To resonate. That's what it means to VAB, right? VAB is about doing things differently. And you have to make a choice. Are we going to do things differently, or are we going to do the definition of insanity? It's that simple, right? Those of you who need it more academically, though, you don't like how I just presented to you, or you sitting here offensive because you're not used to someone who looked like me giving you this information. This is called the racial dynamic, and I want to recognize it in the room. It's going on. Some of y'all looking at me like, he don't look like he should be giving me this information. In fact, you wait for me to say, I got some DVDs to sell you out the trunk of my car. Well, if I haven't disappointed you yet, this may be the disappointing point. I ain't got no DVDs in the trunk of my car, right? But I want you to feel a little bit comfortable in your uncomfortability. So I bring another resource in case you don't want to take it from me. See, right? So I read a book from this gentleman out of Harvard. So you feel better right now, Harvard. You feel better right now. His name is Andy Molinsky. See, you feel better now. You go, oh, Molinsky. Ooh, okay, I got it, okay. He wrote a book called Global Dexterity. Global Dexterity is the exact same concept as my concept of situational appropriateness, which I'll define for you at the end of the day. It's the same thing. The difference is he's speaking to business people, I'm speaking to educators. He's trying to encourage business people to use global dexterity to be successful when they travel around the world doing business. I'm speaking to educators saying we have to teach our students to be situationally appropriate so they will have success in school. I love his definition. I love his definition of global dexterity. Learning to adapt your behavior across cultures, no matter what culture you come from, what culture you're going to, or the situation you find yourself in. Global dexterity is, remember this now, fitting in without giving in. And the students that you have, you got to ask this question. How do they fit into our school culture without giving in, without giving up who they are? No child should have to give up who they are to be successful in the Halifax schools, right? That's what we're looking for. So here's the thing. I want you vabbing here. I want you to be fabulous. I want your kids saying, my teachers are fabulicious. That's what we want. I want you asking every single day, who did I vow today? Every single day, this is your reflection. Who did I validate and affirm today?